So, hi, this is Sherron, the Modern Savvy CPA, and I will be starting a new series next week, and it is going to be the financial business roadmap, and it's going to sort of be like smart money habits for businesses and understanding to maximize your profitability and what's important in your finances and the things that each business owner should know. And one of the things that each business owner should know is they need to understand every aspect of their business and the overall aspects of the business. They don't need to know everything about their business, but they need to have an understanding of it. And one of the number one thing that they need to understand, other than what their business focus is understanding their finances with their business. So for this session, this short session, we're going to go over a few questions an entrepreneur should be thinking about before or while they're launching their new business. So, just so you understand, entrepreneurs are the backbone of our economy. We are the biggest risk takers. We are the risk takers that are going out there and saying we believe in ourselves, we believe in our idea, and we're willing to invest our time and our money in this idea. And if we have a good plan and we understand our finances and we have a good financial plan and we're able to always be following these certain rules and keeping our goals in line, then we're not only going to be able to, we're only investing ourselves, investing our time, our own money, we're going to be able to convince other people to invest in us. And that's one of the goals that most businesses or all businesses should have is, you're doing well financially if you are able to convince other people to invest in your ideas. So that's one of the things. People talk about debt and people talk about leveraging, and one of the things that entrepreneurs will know that they're doing well is when other people are willing to give them money, loan them money in order to work on their ideas or on their believing in what they're doing. So that's what I'm going to go over a little bit today is the overall things that entrepreneurs should be thinking and understanding before or when they're about to start their business. Your first thing is that you start with the right idea. You want to make sure that you have good marketing about it and you have a good business plan. I've talked about this on prior shows that the business plan is the essential. Not having a plan does not mean that everything is going to work out the way you want it. With everything in life, I can almost guarantee you I've always had a plan, or 99% of the time I've had a plan. I could also guarantee you that 100% of my plan never works out exactly how I want it. So having a plan almost always means that the plan is going to be deviated from what your actual first plan is. But that's how life works, is you start with your plan and you understand that the plan is not going to work out exactly what you want, but a plan is a bare outline. So you fill in little things as you go along. To me, I think of all my plans as an outline. Okay, if plan A is not working out, okay, I fill into plan B or plan C. So you want to make sure that that's what you're doing. So all new business, statistically, 2/3 of new business will survive 2 years, 2.5 years, but fail within 5 years. So that's the key that we need to understand is what is going to make us our business, what makes our business successful. That's number one. And what makes our business a thriving business and not just a surviving business. So understanding these good ideas and good habits are what we need to understand in order to make our business thriving. Because surviving businesses are okay. They're not failing, but they're not they're not thriving businesses. So you want to make sure that if you're an entrepreneur and you have ideas, you want to make sure that your business goes from the initial startup and ongoing overhead costs to surviving to eventually thriving. So your deal is you always want to be growing. You want to move from one up the scale. You're moving up the scale. The business scale is here and you want to be able to be going up on the scale. So that's your goal. So you need to make sure that you understand about the business plan. You have a business plan, no matter how sketchy the business plan is. Some successful businesses made their business plan on napkins in bars. And they are some of the most successful businesses in the world. Some business plans start in the basement. Some business plan starts business ideas and the plan starts in dorm rooms. So it doesn't matter where your plan starts. It needs to be on paper. It needs to be put down. You need to have a plan. You need to start with a plan. No matter how sketchy the plan is, you need to have that plan. The other thing that you need to understand is your cash flow. When it comes to your starting of a business, is one of the keys at the starting of the business is cash flow. Whether it's your money that you're investing into your business as an entrepreneur or your investors that are investing in your business, your initial amount, you need to make sure that you understand what your initial amount is. You need to understand the plan for your initial investment, and you need to, have a map out of what your prospective revenues are and when those revenues are going to be coming in. You need to understand when money is coming in. Are they coming in monthly, quarterly, semi-annually? You need to make sure that you're doing that, Just bear in mind that it's better to overestimate what your costs are and underestimate what your income is. Because if more money comes in, then that's great. More revenues comes in, that's great. You want to make sure you're overestimating your costs, because if you spend less, then your cash flow is going to be better. You're not going to have a bigger problem, So once you plan for overestimation of expenses, if it's less, it's great because you're not spending as much. So that's what I always think. Underestimate what you think your revenues are or your initial investments are, and overestimate what your expenses are, your cost of expenses are. So then if more money comes in, that's great. If you spend less money, that's great. Your profitability, if more money comes in and you spend less money, is a wider margin, because it's going to be a wider margin than you estimate. So you make sure that you definitely are thinking of your cash flow. That helps you to understand your cash flow. Your cash flow is basically, the money that comes in, your initial investments, periodic investments, and eventually your revenues that are coming in, minus out your costs and your payments on things that you are buying, such as equipment and stuff like that. So each business is different. You want to make sure that you're doing realistic calculations and realistic expectations on what you intend. You want to make sure that you're backing up what your expectations are. If you just say, I'm going to you pull numbers out of the air, you don't know why you're doing that. The important answer you need to answer for yourself is, this is what I project my income to be. Why is that number? That's the key. Is the analyzation of why am I picking that number. If you don't know why you have that number or how you got to that number, then that's not a real plan. So you want to make sure that that's what you understand that. The third thing is, like I spoke about before, is where are you getting your funding? You want to make sure that you understand whether you are getting funding from, you're getting money from a bank. Some startups want to do build outs, like doctors and lawyers office, for examples. They need to do a build out. They're getting a space and they need to do a build out. So they need to have initial capital to do that. So you want to know where you're getting the capital. You want to make sure that you do a good estimate of how much the initial organization cost is going to be, the initial build out cost is going to be. So, and you want to make sure that you're looking at your budget as you go along with your cost. You're looking at what you're spending and you're not overspending on your build out. And, if you need to pull back some things. There are many ways you can get your funding. One is you doing the initial funding. You can go to the banks for funding. You can go to capital firms. There's angel investors. There's so many things that you can go to get. There's grants. There's so many things that you can research. Do your proper research to know where you're getting your initial funding from. It just does not have to be your own money. If you have an idea, don't let the money be the thing that stops you. Have your idea and then do your research on how to get the money. In many cases, you can, you have different launches. So you want to make sure that you remember, where you need your money with and how you're running your launches. So when you launch your idea, what are you trying to get people to invest in? If it's not you're investing, you need to convince yourself, yes. But if you're asking for outside investors, you need to make sure that you understand your ideas that you're pitching to them, and that, what your financial goals are, what your business plan are. You need to go with them with solid ideas and solid number pictures. The picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you have one piece of paper with, you have two statements, your balance sheet with, and your forecast before you even start making money, your forecast of what you're doing, those two pieces of paper, those numbers tell all the story that your financiers are going to be understanding. They need to understand, once they see that number picture, that's how they know whether they believe in your idea, and two, they're willing to invest because you're not going to mismanage your funds. You're not going to mismanage the funds that they have, because many people have great ideas, but they mismanage the funds, they mismanage the investor money, they mismanage their own money, and that's how they fail. So you want to make sure that you have all these things, all those ducks in a row, all your smart money habits for your business in a row, so you're able to portray that you are not going to mismanage your funds. Because all the ideas are great, but if the funds are not managed properly, you're going to run out of funds, and you're not going to get anybody else to invest in you. You're going to run out of your own funds, and that's how your business is going to fail. Because you want to get over that 5-year hump. The first couple of years you're surviving well, but if you've survived to the 5th year and you're not starting to grow, then you need to understand, why that's happening. You need to, so you need to have your financial goals. You also want to be able to, in addition to your new business, you want to have personal financial goals. You want to make sure that, you approach your business goals and you consider what your personal financial goals are when it comes to your business. You want to make sure that you take a long-term look at your business ideas, and not only, be able to provide and maintain your focus on your day-to-day operations. You want to make sure that you're inspiring yourself and your employees. You want to make sure that your new business it's going to be time consuming and frustrating, but you want to make sure that you spend the time looking at your finances, checking your finances, going with your finances against your business plan. What did I spend? What did I budget to spend? Am I on point at every step? So you want to make sure you're on point at every step when you're going with your business. Your business will be successful, and you just don't want to, remember, you just do not want it to be surviving. You want it to be thriving. You want to have a thriving business. So, and as you get more into things, I know many, many businesses that they are no longer using their own money. Their business is so financially sound, and their financial statements and their financial books look so well. Sometimes you hear on TV when you're watching business news or CNBC or anything like that, oh, they have good balance sheet. What does a good balance sheet mean? That means that your company on a long-term basis is doing well. Your balance sheet tells you the story of the company on a long-term basis. Where have they been? That's what it's telling you. Okay, over the years, they've done well. They have solid assets, and people are willing to invest in them, and people are willing to loan them money. So their long-term goals are met, and their long-term goals are on track. So this is just a short summary of what you need to think about when you're thinking along the entrepreneurial road, when you're thinking about the long entrepreneurial role, you want to make sure that you start with these 4 things that, you'll understand that you're doing in order for you to get your business going. You want to make sure that, you're following these ideas in order for you to make sure that you're on the road to success. You want to be on the road to success, and you want to continue climbing the ladder on the road to success. You want to make sure, so the number one thing, let's summarize it, is you want to make sure you understand what your cost in your business is. You want to make sure that you're overestimating costs so that you're not going to be stuck in a hole if something costs more than it is. You want to make sure you understand your cash flow. Where are your things going? Where are you spending money? Where are you money's coming in? When is money coming in? Monthly, quarterly, weekly, those type of things. You want to make sure that you understand where you're getting your funding from. A lot of entrepreneurs, their funding comes from themselves at the beginning. So you want to make sure you understand that. And you also, the last thing is you want to make sure is, where do I want to go with my business? What is my focus? Am I, 10 years, 5 years down the line, where am I going? So those are the things to start you off when you have a great idea and you want to start off being an entrepreneur. This is Sherron, the Modern Savvy CPA. Please continue to listen and watch me on all my social media. And next week, I will be starting our business financial roadmap series on smart money habits for our businesses. Thank you.